Hey everyone, and welcome. You know that feeling when you just need a simple report from a massive system like SAP S4HANA, and it feels way too complicated? Well, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify the technology that's changing all of that. Core Data Service Views, or what everyone calls CDS views. So let's dive right in. I want to start with just one number. 70%. Now that's a huge figure, right? But what does it actually mean? Well, this comes straight from SAP's own analysis. It's the amount of application code in traditional systems that adds absolutely no direct business value. It's just there to manage performance. Think about that. And that brings us right to the heart of the matter, what I like to call the 70% problem. This isn't just about some bloated, inefficient code. No, it's about a fundamental bottleneck that seriously slows businesses down. And it all starts with the data model itself. See, when your foundation, your data structure, is super complex, everything you try to build on top of it just gets more and more complex too. The code becomes a tangled mess. Trying to integrate with other systems turns into this massive headache, and your ability to adapt quickly, your agility, just tanks. You end up spending way more time just wrestling with the system than actually getting any value out of it. So what do you do about that? Well, you don't just put a band-aid on the old system. You need something radically simpler. And SAP's answer is to leverage the incredible power of its HANA database, which completely flips the script on how we access data. The real magic word here is runtime. In the old days, you had to pre-build and store tons of summary tables, these things called aggregates and indexes, just on the off chance you might need them later. The new way? It's so much smarter. HANA generates the exact view of the data you ask for on the fly, right when you ask for it. This is a huge simplification because it cuts out all that complexity right at the source. And this whole new approach is made possible by something called the virtual data model. The easiest way to think about it is like an intelligent, semantic layer that sits between you and all those raw, messy database tables. Its one and only job is to translate that technical jargon into business-friendly, easy-to-understand information. So what's this virtual data model actually made of? Well, it's not just one single thing. It's really a series of layers, and each one has a very specific job to do. So let's peel back those layers and see how this all clicks together. Okay, at a high level, the model is really split into two main categories. You've got interface views and consumption views. You can pretty much think of interface views as the stable, reusable building blocks, and the consumption views as the final, customized thing that you actually use for a report or an app. Let's start with that foundation, the interface views. These are kind of the unsung heroes of this whole model. They're designed to be a super stable, reliable base, representing core business stuff like journal entries or cost centers. This means developers can build on top of them without having to worry that the ground is going to shift underneath them. And even these interface views have their own two sublayers. It all starts with basic views. These are the frontline guys, reading data directly from the raw database tables. Then you have composite views, which take over and start combining data from multiple basic views to create more complex business logic, like a full-on analytical cube. All right, so once that solid foundation of interface views is locked in place, we can move up to the top layer, and this is the one that's designed specifically for you, the end user. This is all about tailoring the data for exactly what you need to do. And that top layer is made up of consumption views. The name really says it all, right? These are built to be consumed. So whether it's a simple KPI tile on your dashboard or a super detailed analytical report, there's a consumption view that's been prepared with that specific purpose in mind. Now you've got a couple of flavors of these. Consumption CDS views are fantastic for creating simpler reports and those KPI tiles we mentioned. But when you need to do some real heavy lifting, some complex real-time calculations, you'll use what are called analytical queries. These things tap into the powerful analytical engine running in the background. Okay, this table here is a perfect summary of the whole architecture. It really pulls it all together. You see at the very bottom, you've got the basic views, just accessing the data. Built on top of them, you've got composite views, which combine and enrich that data. Then for you, the end user, you have the consumption CDS views for straightforward reports. And right at the top, the analytical queries for that deep dive analysis. See how each layer just builds so logically on the one before it? So we've talked a lot about the technical side of things, but what does all of this really mean for a business professional who just needs to get their job done? Well, the payoff is huge. It really comes down to this. You get your data your way.
This whole model directly powers a bunch of user-friendly tools. It means you can build your own custom analytical queries without having to wait in line for IT. You can use semantic tags, which are like smart labels that keep your reports consistent. And you can create your own real-time key performance indicators, or KPIs, that pop up right on your dashboard, giving you an instant pulse on the business.
And this is the part that is a total game changer. I want to read this quote directly because it's just so powerful. You select the required fields and set filters in your query without having to know the query language or the technical details. Just let that sink in for a second. No coding, no technical jargon. That is the real power of CDS views. This is so much more than just a technical upgrade to make developers' lives easier. The entire point is to tear down the wall that's been standing between you and your data. It is, simply put, about democratizing access, putting the power to ask questions and get answers directly into the hands of the people who actually need it. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. When all that friction is gone, when creating a report is as easy as just picking a few fields and setting a few filters, what new insights, what new efficiencies, what incredible opportunities are you going to discover?
Hey, welcome